right, in this lesson, we are going to be talking about vivid language, and I have to admit that this is probably my favorite lesson in all of Essentials in Writing curriculum, because I absolutely love to take something boring that's written and make it alive, make it real. Now, we've been learning about inaction parts of speech. What can we do with these parts of speech that are tools for effective communication that can help the reader see, feel, hear, smell, taste better what we're writing about, because we don't have facial expressions and we do not have body language that we can share when we are writing. So we must communicate effectively just using words. That's it. Words and sentences. So let's take a look at a composition that I could create just on the whiteboard here. We'll do something that's pretty simple first, and then we'll use these tools to really improve the way that this piece of writing is communicating to the reader. So what am I going to do right now to really make this powerful? I'm going to make it come alive. I'm going to do my very best to make it interesting, but I want to make it vivid. And vivid means that it comes alive in a way that allows me to appeal to the reader's senses. So let me grab my red pen here and let's get started. So I walked along the path. Well, I bet you I could find a better verb than walked, okay? I ambled along the, what kind of path? Okay, obviously I'm afraid, so could I describe the path? Long and lonely path. Was it covered in something? Was it dirty, like a muddy? Was it concrete? I walked along the long and lonely path filled with overgrowth. So lots of weeds showing there, okay? It was dark. The night was creeping in, and now I'm going to use something called figurative language, and I'm going to use a simile like a silent killer. All right, I'm going to try to create that feeling of fear, you know, because it's dark and I'm afraid. The night was creeping in like a silent killer. All right, we are going to practice the paragraph again, and we're going to practice following a set of steps: the brainstorm, the organize, the draft, the revise, the edit and publish. We're going to continue doing that for every single composition that we're writing in this unit. Now, we're starting with the smaller compositions, such as a paragraph, because once we build a paragraph and we do it well, then we can build an essay or any other larger composition fairly easily, because it's just an expansion of that. We'll talk about that later. Also, while we're working on paragraphs, we want to expose you to different kinds of paragraphs, like expository, persuasive, descriptive. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to write a persuasive paragraph, and we're going to follow the exact same steps. So do you remember what the first step is? The first step is brainstorm. That's where we read the writing prompt, we determine what the purpose is, we determine who our audience is, and then we choose our main topic, and then we go ahead and brainstorm if we need to. So let's check the composition today and see what we have here. So since this is a persuasive paragraph, we're basically going to try or attempt in our writing to convince the reader to agree with our opinion or to take an action. So we'll have to determine which one it is in this one, but let's read the prompt together. What's the best card game or board game to play on family game night? Write a paragraph supporting your opinion. Now, we already know that this assignment is persuasive, and we know that we are being, we're going to give an opinion on this, and we're going to have to support it with information that proves that it's the best. So we understand by just acknowledging that this is persuasive in nature. So I'm going up here to the prompt itself, and I'm going to circle the word best because that's very important. Best card game or board game. So I have to choose either a card game or a board game. And then to play on family game night, I want to have that in my opening sentence probably. And then write a paragraph supporting your opinion. So we need to support an opinion so we know this is persuasive. Organizer first. Remember, this organizer is designed to get the content or the thoughts on the paper, and then we will draft it into sentences. So we want it to be two separate activities. So let's go ahead and do that. I've already written in my topic sentence. I did not have to write it in a complete sentence. So if you want to write Monopoly, or excuse me, Skip-Bo, best card game, family game night, that's fine, because this is just a planner. This is just organizing thoughts, and I will not write incomplete sentences on the rest of this, okay? So we will do that in the draft. So I just want you to know either is fine. You can do either, but you don't have to write incomplete sentences. So I have to ask the question, why is Monopoly the best game for a family game night? All right. So I'm going to put, first of all, let's do a different color so you can see the difference between my details. It takes time. And then what's another reason why Monopoly is the best game? Requires strategy. Okay, so now I need to build in an example or an explanation. Remember, the example can be an explanation. It can take it deeper, or it can actually be an example of what you're trying to say. So this is how we walk through this. We say Monopoly is the best game, board game to play on family game night. Why? Because it takes time. What do you mean it takes time? What does that mean? It makes it the best. So families are busy and often do not spend time. Long game, more time. Now notice I'm simply just making notes so that I know what I'm going to say when I write my draft over here to the side underneath my. So I have to build that. So let's see what I said. This game takes time. Now that's not very clear. What do you mean this game takes time? So I have to figure out what am I going to say, and the way I do that is to speak it out loud. Monopoly is the best board game to play on family game night. It's the best because it takes time. This game takes a lot of time. This game, and I put my little star here, is long and takes time to play. Now, that's a little more clear. That gives more information than what was there before, and that's important because, remember, we try to be clear. We know what we mean, but does the reader know what we mean? And so that's why I added all of that extra. So we're going to go up here with that. Now, this next sentence is where I really want to explain why is it the best board game? Because it's long and takes time to play. Families don't spend enough time together anymore. Now, that's just a blanket statement that could be persuasive in nature. So, families, and we are going to change that to don't, and we are going to say families are not spending a lot of time together anymore. Why? Because they are busy. So that's a little bit more clear. All right, so we'll do to there. Textbook, you will find, and on the board here, you will find the expository essay prompts. Now, let's go back and just discuss, in case you don't remember, what is an expository essay? Well, an expository essay is basically where you inform someone about something and you explain it. Now, there are different types of expository essays, like cause and effect, etc., but we're not doing any of those. We're just going to explain something. So the prompt will ask us to explain something and share information about a topic. So on the board here, you have, and in your textbook, you have 3 different prompts that you can choose from. So you're going to read through those prompts, and then you're going to decide which one you are going to write to. Now, typically, I choose one of the prompts, but I want you to be able to have full reign of choosing the prompts, and I'm going to write to a different prompt. So if you look just right down here below me, you'll see that I have my own prompt that I will be writing to. And let's read it together. In today's world, many people set goals, yet never reach them. Why is this so? What can a person do to reach their goals? Write an essay explaining how to reach goals. So the first thing we have to do is underline certain things in the prompt to be sure that we understand what it is that the prompt is asking us to do. So I see set goals. I see goals, I see goals. So this is all about goals, and I have to understand that. So write an essay explaining, and then this is what we want to do, how to reach goals. So my main topic is there are many ways to reach goals. And that's probably going to be similar to what my thesis is going to be. So now I have to brainstorm about details that I could write about. So, what are some things that I think might be important to help me reach goals? Commit, be persistent, don't be afraid to fail, clear expectations. All right, how did you do with body paragraph number 1? Don't forget that I'm always modeling for you, so if you have questions, you can always go back and watch my videos anytime, a second time, a third time, whatever it takes to be sure that you're successful at this. But now it's time for us to move to body paragraph number 2. Let's jump right in. So I remember that I already created my topic for body paragraph number 2, and I'm simply going to put the support for the thesis in this opening sentence section as my planner. So commit to the process and be persistent. Now remember, I don't have to write in complete sentences here because I'm just planning. So commit to the process and be consistent. Now, what do I mean by that? So I need to provide a detail. So I'm just going to do the process. Oops. Commitment to the process, important. And then being consistent is powerful. All right, so those are my details. Now I just need to provide examples. Commit to the process and be consistent. So commit to the process. Committing to the process is important. We're communicating. So if we find a sentence that needs to be fixed, per se, then we will just go ahead and revise it. But the focus on this lesson is word choice. So the first thing I'm going to do is touch every word and read this body paragraph that I'm going to revise for you today. Don't be afraid to fail. Yes, that's right. A person who is trying to reach a goal shouldn't be afraid to fail. First, failing is inevitable. I love that word inevitable. I will not be changing it. There will with certainty be challenges along the journey to reaching a goal. Now that doesn't make sense to me. There will with certainty be challenges along the journey to reaching a goal. I think it should be when reaching a goal. Let's do that instead. When reaching a goal, comma, and those challenges will come with failure. Or let's say may come with failure. However, that doesn't mean the entire goal has failed. Comma, only one small part. Or I could say one small component, but I think I'll just do part. Second, failing will not stop progress. Now let's look at this word stop. That's probably an overused word, so what word could I use in place of stop? Quit. No. Second, failing will not quit progress, will not halt progress. Oh, that's a good word. And that's a very academic word, so we can do that. Second, failing will not halt progress. Instead, it will only slow it down. Slow it down? That sounds like a first grader writing that, yeah? Instead, it will only slow. All right, welcome back for the last day of revision, unless you want to spend a few more days revising. I will tell you that it does help to put it away again and then come back and read again and see if you find more things that could be improved if you have the time to do that. But it's not expected, obviously. So we're going to revise for sentence structure. I'm looking at an entirely different paragraph today from my draft, and I might revise word choice. Remember, I can find things as I'm going along that I think might need to be changed, but my focus today will be on revising for word choice. I'm sorry, sentence structure. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to read every word and touch it out loud. Read every word out loud and touch it. In order to successfully reach goals, a person must set short-term and long-term expectations and goals. Creating short-term goals makes reaching the goal attainable. For example, by having short-term goals, a person can celebrate smaller successes along the way when they reach the smaller goals. This fuels the desire to move forward, making the long-term goal attainable. Okay, the first part, that's hard to understand. I think it's confusing. Let's make this a little smaller and start again. In order to successfully reach goals, I'm going to change the order of that. In order to reach goals successfully, maybe I just get rid of the word successfully. In order to reach goals, a person must set short-term and long-term expectations. Not expectations. That's not even the right word. Must set short-term and long-term milestones. Creating short-term, I'm going to do MS for milestones, makes reaching the final goal